Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about the Tri Sigma Foundation. The foundation is learn, lead, and give. So the thing about the Tri Sigma Foundation is most people know that when they think of like Greek life, such as like fraternities and sororities, they associate them with a certain philanthropy. And philanthropies can be kind of confusing because, not most of them, but ours is Tri Sigma, because Tri Sigma doesn't have just one philanthropy. It has the Tri Sigma Foundation, which in itself has 3 philanthropic branches. So, whereas Sigma Kappa, their philanthropy is to end Alzheimer's. Tri Sigma's is actually the foundation, and then the foundation, those 3 branches include scholarship, leadership, and the March of Dimes, or the Sigma Serves Children. So, the first one I'm going to talk about is leadership. So the leadership branch actually entails several different things. Underneath the Tri Sigma Foundation, they put on several conventions and institutes to kind of help empower young women and encourage leadership, to promote leadership and strong, healthy relationships. And so one of the academies is the President's Leadership Academy. And they go, and basically what they do is all of the newly voted presidents will go to this convention, and they will kind of be put through like a class, I guess, to teach them how to be good leaders and to how to bring up their chapter in a positive way. And then another institute they have is the Prevention Institute, which is the Risk Managers Institute. And the risk manager is the one who kind of keeps the house safe. They like put together a safety plan and things like that, so they have to learn how to be a leader in times of stress and things like that. And then there's another one called the Dunham Women's Character Institute. And that one is kind of more of like a generic institute it's usually for newer members of the house, and it's kind of, it's seen as like a prize, like it's a very special event to get to go to. So it's special if you get to go. And one of our members actually went last year, and it was held in Philadelphia, I believe. And it's kind of the same thing as the President's Academy in a way where they just kind of have to get in groups and they talk about leadership and what can inspire leadership and what kind of leadership they want to be and what things they want to inspire and things like that. So these are just a couple pictures of some women that went to the Dunham Women's Character Institute. This one is holding a sign that says, "Stand for what is right, even if it means standing alone." And this one says, "She believed she could, and so she did." So those are just examples of young women empowering themselves to be leaders, because Tri Sigma is all about empowering women. So the next one I'm going to talk about is scholarship, and this is just a picture of some alum from a different chapter donating money to the Tri Sigma Foundation. So currently right now there's over 26 named scholarships, and when they're named scholarships, it means they're usually funded by, or they're inspired by past members and alum and things like that. So there's a board of members, like collegiately, like alum, like very important members who kind of take in all the applications for these scholarships, and there's also like a very intensive interview process. So Tri Sigma takes education very seriously, and they take a very, very extensive amount of care into picking who they give their scholarships to. So one of the last branches is actually the philanthropy branch, which is kind of the more broad of the branches. Under the philanthropy, I guess if you had to pick one tagline for Tri Sigma Foundation philanthropy, it would probably be Sigma Serves Children. And within the Sigma Serves Children, there's also the March of Dimes branch and the Robbie Page Memorial Fund, which the Robbie Page Memorial Fund was initially founded by one of our first presidents because her son was diagnosed with polio, and his name was Robbie Page. So the initial goal of the Robbie Page Memorial Fund was to find a cure for polio, and then they eventually did find a cure for polio. So once that cure for polio was actually discovered, they moved on to the next. And so the next kind of venture that they were researching and donating money to and funding is actually children's play therapy. And so children's play therapy is for children who have gone through some traumatic experience in their life, whether it be like sexual violence or physical violence or even emotional torment. They send kids to these hospitals, and children living in a hospital is not necessarily the best place that they probably want to be. So donating to play therapy kind of gives them a chance to be a kid again. They get to play with toys and just do things that a normal kid would do. It just helps to make them feel normal. And so a lot of times emotions and feelings kind of help promote actual physical wellness. So that's one of the things that does. So this is just a picture of a Tri Sigma member at a hospital with a child. So there's actually different opportunities that Tri Sigma does to volunteer, and they go and play with the children and things like that. So this is actually a map provided by March of Dimes. The March of Dimes is also part of the Sigma Serves Children. That's one of the other branches. The Sigma Serves Children, the March of Dimes is actually one of the more commonly heard of name. The March of Dimes supports premature awareness and premature birth of newborns. So what March of Dimes does is they provide funding for both publicity, so for people to understand what an issue premature birth is. And they also provide funding for those families in need that maybe have children that need intensive care, or that are in the intensive care unit, or that need like extensive medical procedures that they maybe can't afford. So that's what the March of Dimes does. But this is just a map of kind of like the report cards of premature birth in the United States. You can see actually Oklahoma is one of the worser of the few. It's actually a D on the grade scale. Some of the northern states have B's and A's. Kansas is a B, Colorado is a B, and things like that. So I just thought that was kind of interesting to add in there, just to visually, see what's going on. So I hope my speech today has both informed and inspired you maybe to find a way to get help or help to be an aid of help today. So